Make it loud for the Flower Girl.
Please make it loud for Josh Johnson!
I try really hard to not be this type of person, but every once in a while it creeps out. You know, I'm human and I can't help it. You never want to have a good day just because someone else is having a bad day. But sometimes it happens. Sometimes somebody you can't stand is having a real bad day and it just brings you joy. Yeah, I mean, sometimes, because we're all gonna have our good days and bad days, but sometimes somebody's having a bad day and you're like, you earned it. You earned it. Oh. Last Sunday, Trump had a very bad day. And I try to engage in as much like empathy as I can for what someone might be feeling when something happens. Not to say that it makes me like agree with people or anything, but I just try to put myself in that person's headspace. And his headspace must have been a headache. Wow. This dude loves the Patriots. This dude loves the Patriots, and for an entire half, whew. You would think they just weren't meant to hold the ball. You know, I never try to play like armchair expert when it comes to a sport because these are athletes that can do things that I can't do. But honestly, into the second quarter, I was throwing ideas out there from the couch. I was like, look, maybe take the gloves off. I think the gloves holding you back, you know? Those balls are slipping. They slipping on the glove. Maybe if you really grip it as it comes at you. This is why you need to grow your fingernails out. That's what you need to do. That way you can clutch it. This thing bouncing off your hand, all glove, no hand. No, it was rough. You know? Watch the Patriots fight as hard as they can for that zero. That was, whew. You know, you never want to see somebody play a sport, especially in an elite level, that makes it look like you could do it. You know what I mean? Like, by the fifth time they sacked the quarterback, I was like, yeah, I'd probably panic too. Like, I can see that happening. And then, if Trump thought he had a bad night watching the Patriots lose, and then Bad Buddy showed up. Bad Buddy, okay. I knew the Super Bowl was gonna be in Spanish, right? And I thought, here's the thing, I'll admit that I also thought that because I took a little bit of Spanish in elementary school, and because I took a little bit more Spanish in like junior high, and I did take some in high school, right? That I was like, okay, you know, I might catch on to a couple things. And then he starts, right? He starts, and I'm like, all right, you know, when I saw the Spanish come on screen, I was like, okay, he means it. He wasn't playing. And I see the Spanish come across, and I was like, okay, all right, get ready. And even when they played the opening titles, I was like, I don't know why I thought blinking would make me understand the Spanish more. I opened my eyes wide. I did everything I could. Turns out that opening was just Bad Bunny's full name. Had to be told that later. My friend Maria helped me out, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense, because it's his, because he's, yes. And we open up on these sugarcane fields, like what looks like the sugarcane plantation, and it's hitting notes of, historically in Puerto Rico, there was African slavery when Puerto Rico was owned by the Spanish, and it turned into, even in the transition from Spain to the U.S., it's turned into a habit for whoever is controlling Puerto Rico to absolutely abuse the labor and the land of the people. And so you see, even though this Super Bowl was full of joy, even though it was full of things that were pointing to different parts of the culture, everything that he was pointing to was to something that had a darker side of the history of the treatment of the people and of the land. And we see Bad Bunny starting to dance. He's got the football, and in no time he had cleared way more yards than the Patriots. Like, it was genuinely insane. It felt like he was, felt like he was making a statement about that. I know he probably wasn't, but he couldn't have known the outcome of the game beforehand, but like, wow. Moving very easy, moving his shoulders and everything. I was like, okay. Bad Bunny starts singing, and all I can say is my Duolingo failed me, all right? Wow. I didn't know, I could feel the vibe of what was happening, and I was like, okay, all right, I think I caught that, all right, house, okay, I think that was, okay, oh, wait till I learn the whole song, okay, house. I'm positive he said booty. I think he said booty. Shake was in there, that makes sense, booty, shake. Or maybe he said salt shaker, I have no idea. Not positive. You know how when someone's speaking a different language, you try to catch up or apply the little bit that you know. I was in my head, I was like, okay, wait. I think I understood that. But then I realized as he really started singing that there was no way I was gonna catch up. And it's not that he was, because sometimes people are like, oh, they're already speaking a different language. You'll go to another country and they're already speaking a different language, but then sometimes we, as people from the US that go to a different country, are like, why are they speaking so fast? It's like, they're not speaking fast, they're speaking their language that they know. But I will admit that when I was watching Bad Bunny that first go around, I was not understanding faster than he was speaking. I was getting myself all confused. And then, I saw people complaining. They were like, why weren't there subtitles? He should have had some subtitles on there. Why weren't there subtitles? He's gonna do it in Spanish. Why is there a subtitle? Come on now. The country that hates to read wanted subtitles. You're not being honest. You're not being honest at all. The same people. You're telling me you would have loved it if you could read it. The people who don't even want to read the history of Puerto Rico would have loved Bad Bunny's performance if they could read it the whole time. It's crazy. This dude, there's no way. There's no way if you could read it, you'd be like, oh, now I love it. I read for 13 minutes and now I'm not racist. This is crazy. No. But the imagery alone was a lot to follow. I gotta be honest with you right now that I could talk about this thing for 2 hours and not scratch the surface of everything that was covered, because whether it was symbols or whether it was a storytelling, it goes much deeper than anything that I could understand right then, or I've even understood really since I started reading about it and I started asking people. I asked my Puerto Rican friends to explain parts of it to me, and they were gracious enough to. And even then, even as they were explaining things to me, I had to look up things that they had referenced, and the whole thing genuinely just goes so deep. I was really impressed with how much was packed in there, even just from one image alone. And we see all of the different groups that he's passing. He passes these women that are standing next to some cinder blocks. He passes these elders playing dominoes. And even as I'm watching it, I'm looking for like anything that I can latch on to, whether it's just imagery or something he says. And we see him moving past these women getting their nails done, and this jeweler who hands him a ring, gets that ring, takes a look at it, passes it to this guy, and the guy quickly drops on one knee, proposes. That's a lot of pressure. Oh, you gotta say yes. This is live broadcast right now. You can't be like, let me think about it. And then when the camera pans, you see all of these different people. And it was the first time that I sort of locked in. I admittedly did not know what was going on fully at any point. I'm not gonna act like I did. In fact, I have to shout out every friend that talked to me and walked me through the symbolism and the story and everything that was happening, because genuinely I was interested, but I obviously didn't know it when it was happening. And then I had one clue though. One thing clued me in. When we were panning, you see all these people dancing in front of the house, all these people gathered together. It was the first time that I sort of locked in that he wasn't just repping and talking about Puerto Rico in this performance, it was all of the Latin world. Because you saw people that were from Chile, from Bolivia, from Colombia, from Argentina. You saw all these people that were from different countries in the Americas. And then you see Bad Bunny on the roof. And I was like, okay, all right. He's on the roof. That must mean something. Whole time I'm like trying to lock it as hard as I can. I was like, okay, he said blue at one point. I know I heard blue. He's dancing, he does some music on the roof, and then the roof collapses, falls right through. And admittedly, I wasn't sure that was part of it. Like initially I was like, oh no! They got to him. But this dude stands up and there's already a camera inside. I'm like, oh, this was part of the plan. Yeah, everybody's already in here and everything. But he crashes through the roof. And it was actually my friend Joel who told me about how during Hurricane Maria, Puerto Rico was so devastated. And FEMA took forever. And FEMA wanted to leave immediately. So there are still parts of Puerto Rico that are disheveled from that hurricane. You know, it's affected the grid, it's affected people's houses. There's people who have tarps over the top of their houses because they haven't been able to rebuild their roofs, even now. And Bad Bunny does a thing, which maybe it's meant to be symbolic, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but he just falls through the roof, which is a pretty big deal. I don't know if you know anyone who's ever fell through a roof, but that was the end of their day. I lived in Louisiana where there are also hurricanes, and I've known 2 people who have fallen or almost fallen through a roof. And both times it was the end of their day. One of my friends was working on a roof and his foot went through and he was like, you know what? I think God called me to do something else. He actually quit that day. He doesn't do that job anymore. And then my other friend actually fell through the roof and luckily didn't land on anything that would cause him like severe harm, just the floor. But when you land on the floor from roof height, it is the last thing you do that day. But not Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny fell through the roof, gets up, just dusts himself off, kicks open the door, and continues the show. And it felt like a symbol of what Puerto Rican people have had to do. You know, losing their roofs, losing their way of life sometimes, having to adjust to anything that will work, and just carrying on. And then you see this dude dancing, and at one point, he's looking right at the screen, and he says, I'm here because I believed in myself. All right? You should believe in yourself too. You're bigger than you think. You're more than you think. You know? Admittedly, my friend Maria had to tell me he said that. I did not catch that at the time. At the time, I was just watching him, and I was like, he must mean it, whatever, keep pointing. So this part is serious. And once again, I thought what it must be like to watch this Super Bowl halftime as Donald Trump. He must have been watching it thinking like, did he say something about me? Did he say something? Then we transition over to the wedding. The wedding was beautiful. Remember the couple from before, from the proposal? Them. They did it quick. Everybody else over here planning a wedding for 1.5 years, not them. They got right to it. He proposed and they were like, here is nice. I will say though, one thing I can't imagine, one thing that is rough, whether it's like just couples hanging out or it's Valentine's Day, there is nothing like being the dude who's friends with the dude who did something epic for the proposal or for the wedding. Oh, it'd make you sick. You just sitting there. Because now imagine being their friends this week. They're sitting there. It's actually such a funny story. Okay, so we actually emailed Bad Bunny. This is all true. This is what happened. We actually emailed Bad Bunny and invited him to our wedding. Plenty of people invite Bad Bunny to their wedding, and whatever, he might come, and we might get to meet Bad Bunny. And then we email him. We don't even think anything about it. Forgot we did it. And then we get an email from like badbunny@gmail.com, and he was like, I can't make it to your wedding, I'm very busy, but would you like to get married at the Super Bowl? And we were like, yes, of course. I mean, you saw us last week, so. I can't imagine what it's like to be their friend and the dude who hasn't proposed yet. Like, you just sitting there like, bruh, shut up. I'm not gonna be able to top that. There's a sense that you start to get of what watching a community looks like, right? You're just watching these people dance, have fun, get married. He reveals this wedding, throws to it. You see this wedding, and then you see Lady Gaga. You see Lady Gaga, and there was a big complaint this entire time about how whole thing was in Spanish. Can't believe he did the whole thing in Spanish, top to bottom. This is a Super Bowl, he did all in Spanish. Whole performance was in Spanish, but it wasn't. The whole performance was not in Spanish. Lady Gaga was singing in English. Imagine being so racist that you hear English and you're like, this Spanish needs to get up off my TV. This is not what America is about. I can't believe they still got this Spanish on the halftime. This is Super Bowl halftime. You're gonna speak some English, Super Bowl. You're gonna sing in English. I had the opposite reaction. I heard Lady Gaga singing, and for a second, I thought I was understanding Spanish. I'm not gonna lie. When Lady Gaga started singing, I was like, oh, okay, all right, it's clicking. Oh, this must be what it feels like to be bilingual. All right, we locking in. And then you see Bad Bunny, after he dances with Gaga, sings. This dude does like a trust fall off the top of the building and gets caught by the people underneath him. And as far as like symbols and images go, that's a pretty amazing one for your community always having your back. It was really cool to watch. And that was one of the biggest complaints that people had. I didn't understand a word that he said. And I don't know, this is just my take, but I really do think that it's important that Bad Bunny did the show the way that he did it, that there were no subtitles or anything, because you shouldn't need to understand somebody's language to understand their value and their culture's value. You shouldn't need to know exactly what they're saying. Because one of the best and coolest things that Bad Bunny did is he just showed, even though the imagery calls to something very dark, he showed how beautiful all that culture is, all over the Latin world, all over North and Central and South America. And it's a very important image to watch, of seeing all these people. Because whenever you're like any minority, usually when you're on a big stage, or it's time for, Oscar noms and everything, the stories that get told about the different groups are usually just about tragedy. It's usually like bad, how much can you make us feel with all of your pain? And it's a very different direction to go, to only show joy, to only show family, to only show this beautiful, blossoming culture, right? Things that people feel like only they understand, only they see, that are never really on a world stage. It's definitely a choice. I think it was the right choice, because when you watch something like that, you see something that you can't possibly combat. You see that these are the people, these people dancing right now, these people having this wonderful time, these people getting married, these people just expressing joy to the highest degree. These are the people being terrorized. Like, these are the people being hunted and harassed by ICE. These are the people being locked up. It's these people. You don't see any monsters on that stage. You don't see any criminals on that stage. You see regular, beautiful people, and those regular, beautiful people are the people who have to stress every single day about their own government coming after them. You know, so many times people have said, why couldn't an American do the halftime show? Never mind the fact that Puerto Rico, like, I can't stop saying it, because the thing that Freudian slip should tell you was that it was always about, like, culture and race. It was never actually about someone being an American. You know? You know, there are some people that obviously this happened last year, happened this year. I'm sure it'll happen in the future with a different group, with a different performance on a different stage. And there are some people that are like, it wasn't radical enough, it didn't go far enough. And it's like, all right, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But you know, it's every artist's choice to express themselves the way that they see best. And I thought that this was a great way to get the conversation started. A lot of things that I didn't know, that I looked up specifically because I saw this halftime show. Things that my Puerto Rican friends could have told me before this halftime show, but they didn't know I had the interest, and I didn't know to ask. And so it all starts a conversation. Conversation is incredibly important. Meanwhile, you had the Turning Point USA halftime show. This dude, oh man. All right, so admittedly I did watch it like way later. I didn't change the channel. They did their own halftime show, Turning Point USA, and they gathered together some of the most famous musicians in the history of music, and they performed a separate halftime show. And I don't know, okay. I saw a dude, I don't know his name, but he got up there and sang a song that I'm sure he wrote specifically for this event. He had his guitar, man was feeling himself. Leaned into the mic. You know that lean into the mic where you're really about to break it down. Some people just sing. No, my man was over here. This dude got in. I just want to kiss my fish. I swear that's what I thought he said. I was positive that's what he said. Turns out he said catch, but wow. I know I don't speak Spanish, but I thought I had a pretty good handle on English. And it really sounded like he said kiss. But now kiss is stuck in my head. Randomly, I'll be going about my day and just think, I just want to kiss my fish. It'd be amazing, even just for the story world of the song, you know? Because the song was about how it's not easy being country in this country anymore. It's very difficult. It's news to me, but it is very hard to be country. And then I guess he goes over what the definition of country is, which is like kissing or catching fish, driving his truck, drink his beer, and not have to listen to stuff he doesn't want to hear, which I guess is like everything. The rest of being country in the country seems very simple. If you want to drink your beer and you're of legal age, all you need do is swallow. If all you want to do is drive your truck, then I think you just need a license, and then it's yours to drive. With gas, I guess that part could be difficult if you don't have gas money. And then, really, outside of hearing things you don't want to hear, the fish is probably the hardest part. Whether you want to kiss a fish or catch it. First of all, to kiss it, you gotta catch it, which is already its own struggle. All right, you're gonna catch the fish when the fish is ready to be caught, when it falls for the bait, or when it gives up. I don't know. And then kissing a fish is just your prerogative. Like that's. But I just wanted to imagine a world where he said, "Kiss my fish." And he's like angry about all this woke stuff. Meanwhile, he's married to a fish. All right, to each their own, yeah. And all he wants to do is kiss his fish, you know? But it keeps wiggling. It keeps... And he's like, "Come here." They had, back-to-back performances. They did a weird thing, though, where basically their halftime show went longer than the Bad Bunny halftime show, like 10 minutes longer. Which means if people wanted to watch the whole thing, they'd have to miss the Super Bowl. That's a choice. I mean... You know, and then there's all this talk about how many people actually watched, because they were saying that like 6 million people watched live and it was climbing, right? And then we hear later that may have been heavily botted. Like I don't know if it was, but I just feel like it would make sense, because whatever I'm on Twitter, the bots are pretty racist, and so I can only imagine like they would probably want to tune in. Did a whole separate halftime that then we find out wasn't even live. It was pre-taped, but not just pre-taped over like 3 or 4 days. And the audience that was there, it wasn't a lot. That's why it was so dark. It was like 180 people apparently. It was 180 people that they kept moving around to look like a bigger audience. Which, look, you can clown them if you want, but I have done this same thing before at parties where not enough people showed up. I did take different pictures of everybody in different rooms to try to make it look very full. When I posted it to Facebook later, I was like, man, you couldn't even move. There was no arm room in here. I did the thing to my party that like realtors do to like a very terrible apartment, where they're like, get in the corner of the room. Oh, and so, yeah, apparently these people were told that someone really famous was going to perform, more famous than Kid Rock, and then Kid Rock headlined it. And then apparently, this is what I've heard, that this shooting was like 3 to 5 takes for every performer. The song over and over again, which was leading these people who were essentially like extras in this production to have 12-hour days. And for these 12-hour days, apparently, I don't know if it was total or if it was per day, but it sounds total, they were paid $250. So I guess both halftime shows touched on the themes of slavery. Imagine 36 hours just to hear somebody, I just want to kiss my fish. And then immediately hearing somebody say, cut, cut, cut. I don't believe you. Give it to me deeper. Give it to me again. You in the back, really pump your fist for this one. Get angry. You're angry. You're angry, right? Get angry, okay? Now you, give it to me again. I just want to kiss my fish. No, we don't believe you. We don't know. It's not coming through, all right? It's not, we need more. We need to come from your you know your diaphragm? You're singing from the back of your head. It's the diaphragm. Again, you also in the back, wave a cell phone. Wave a cell phone. Wave a cell phone. What do you mean it died? What do you mean it died? We've been here 10 hours. If your phone doesn't have 10 hours of battery life, you need to get a new phone, all right? Wave somebody else's cell phone then. You'll get lunch when you get it. We're having tacos. And then, at the real halftime show, there was Bad Bunny doing a thing that I thought was so cool, but I didn't understand the context at the time. You see Bad Bunny climb this light pole, and he's dancing up there, and then there are these other dancers that are suspended from the light pole, and they're spinning around everything. It looks really cool. You see sparks fly. You're like, yeah, Bad Bunny, get him. He's over here, you know, he had the hips going. He was, yeah, those are some good moves. I feel like I would hurt myself if I. But what I was told by my friend Justine, was that climbing of the light pole, it basically represented the same thing. Hurricane Maria devastated Puerto Rico, and there are still some parts of the island that used to have power and don't have it now. So everyday citizens, regular people who were not electricians, were climbing up the light pole trying to figure out how to get power back for their families, for their community and everything. And so even as he's having all this fun, all this joy, we see the thing that he's representing it's like steeped in all this inequality, in the treatment of people who are citizens, you know? Later on, he throws to Ricky Martin. I'm gonna be honest with you, I hadn't seen Ricky Martin in a while. And so as soon as I saw Ricky Martin, I was like, is that Ricky Martin? That's also how I can tell I'm getting older, because there are people who it's been a long time since I've seen them, that when I see them, instead of just recognizing that I recognize them, I ask the question out loud to no one. And I always used to watch like my uncle and other people do this and think it was like such an old person thing to do, because I'm like, oh, do you not remember, or are you looking for confirmation from me? And like, why is that not? Why do you never ask in your voice? You never ask in your voice. You have your speaking voice, and then you have your is that person voice. No, I knew I was getting older because it just escaped. I was like, is that Ricky Martin? As soon as is that Ricky Martin? Yeah, as soon as I saw Ricky Martin singing. And he was singing a song about Hawaii. He was singing a song about Hawaii and what the U.S. government did to Hawaii. You know, they have their statehood now, but they were annexed and they lost a lot of their culture. They lost a lot of their people because of the colonization of the U.S. And you see something similar happening in Puerto Rico. You know, if you really look at the history of the island and how it basically changed hands from Spain to the U.S. and how there were things that Spain did and there were things that the U.S. did, things the U.S. did much more recent. It makes them even more harrowing because we think of things like colonization as things you read about in history books that happened a long time ago, but the effects are still with us right now. And we still see the world experiencing this same sort of colonization, but now it's through different instruments. Yeah. Now it's not, you know, people in weird boots hopping off of boats with muskets. Now it's in the way that we trade. It's in the way that we tax. You know, you look at Puerto Rico, these people don't have statehood. They don't vote on the people that govern them. Those people are picked by the president. And he happens to always pick people who are good for business in the U.S. And you see his little TV with Bad Bunny accepting his Grammy, giving his speech. And Bad Bunny's speech at the Grammys was basically that he sees all this hate. He starts it with Ice Out. And he says that he sees all this hate. That the only thing more powerful than hate is love. And that's the message that he wanted to leave people with from his Grammy speech. It's clear the message he wanted to leave people with from his halftime performance. And I just don't understand how you can watch a halftime performance and have the sort of response that Trump had. In fact, after Bad Bunny performed, Trump came out and said that was the worst performance. What an embarrassment to our great country. Look at that gyrating that they were doing, you know, with kids watching. And I was just sitting there like, wait. Trump, you watched? You watched? They made one specifically for you and you watched this one. That was yours. The other one was supposed to be yours. And then you... Oh, I'd be so mad. If I was Turning Point, if I was Kid Rock, that's supposed to be your boy. And he didn't... He'd rather hate watch Bad Bunny than just watch you. That's wild. I mean, imagine how Kid Rock must feel. Oh, I'm surprised Kid Rock and Trump are even friends. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like, he loves rock, but he really loves... But then you see Bad Bunny with this football. This football says we are all America. And he's walking down the field and he says, God bless America. And then he starts listing all the countries that make up the Americas. Not every single one, but as many as he can get out. This man is walking down the field, once again, way further than the Patriots have been. Like, I thought that thing as well, if you're talking about symbols and you're talking about what people should do with their voice on like a world stage, just that thing alone, just that point, hopefully I can like distill this thing quickly and easily. But basically, we always say, God bless America. And when we say that, we are only ever talking about us. Us is the United States, right? But America is like 2 continents. You know? And so this symbol that he's holding isn't listing these countries as just calling to people who have immigrated to the U.S. He's talking about the actual country. God bless Haiti. God bless Chile. God bless Argentina. God bless Bolivia. God bless Colombia. God bless all of these countries, because all of these countries are what make up America. You know? And he's walking towards the camera as he's saying it. And once again, I gotta wonder what it must feel like to be Trump watching the Super Bowl halftime. Because now everybody's coming, talking to the camera with their flag. And he had to be like, are they coming here or what? And one thing I thought was really, really cool, genuinely amazing about the show is that the singing and the dancing continued even after the broadcast ended. They did it all the way out the stadium, which is once again another symbol that all revolution, that all protests, all of it occurs in real time, in real life. You cannot just wait or count on some sort of broadcast, and it's not going to stop just because the broadcast ends. And I just can't imagine like how you could watch this thing and be so angry. They were so angry. Just so deeply angry. You know, and I get it. You don't speak Spanish. I know. I don't either. I get it. You don't speak Spanish, but your hips do. You know? You don't have to understand what's being said. Not really, not to just enjoy music. We send our music all over the world. We send hip hop all over the world. It's been embraced the world over. It's been embraced just as it is. You'll see these concerts in Japan where our artists go there and perform the song in English, and there are people that sing it with them. They, even if that's the only English they know, they learn that English because they love that song so much. You know? And look, I'll even say this. I'll even extend a little bit of an olive branch, right? I can understand. You are, in your mind, the one true culture. And you're watching your sport, your favorite sport, on the world stage. And for the first time ever, you're seeing it in a way that you feel like you can't possibly relate to because it's in a different language. You know? Like, we had Kendrick's halftime, and there was symbolism in it that you may not understand, or it may be like a lifestyle that you don't get. But this thing, having all these people across the Latin world dancing and singing their language, happy, full of joy, could be scary if you think, uh-oh, this is it for us. This is it for us. We're going away. If we're not the center of the Super Bowl, then what are we really? And you're terrified. And you're so terrified, you're watching it. And you don't ask yourself why you need to be the one and only. You're more just watching it and thinking to yourself, what's so great about this? Why couldn't they get something that I like? You know? And listening to it. And then maybe something happens. Something you don't even intend to happen. Maybe something you don't want to happen. You're listening to Bad Bunny, and out of nowhere, you don't know why it happens, you don't know what caused it, but and it's a language you don't get. You're like, I don't know this language, and I don't know why it's making me feel this way. You know, you're so uncomfortable, you feel like you even need to walk it off a bit. You're like, what is happening? What is happening? What? Bad Bunny, stop! Stop!
Give it up for Josh Johnson.
I've been loving getting to watch in real time the indictment of New York Mayor Eric Adams. This dude sucks so much. It's so bad. This dude sucks. I don't know who your mayor is, but be glad it's not Eric Adams. This dude is the worst. He's so corrupt. And it's like corruption. This is what's disappointing about Eric Adams' corruption, is that it's like petty. Do you know what I mean? We expect politics to be corrupt. It says a lot that we do, but a part of us, do you know what I mean? And what does that say about us to a certain degree? I think about that a lot. What does that say about our expectations, that we expect corruption? You know what I mean? At lots of levels, you know? City councilman did this thing, president did this thing, whatever it is, we expect it. And then when people run, we don't really believe in them. Maybe if someone can make us believe in them along the way, that's the person that we vote for, because we're like, wow, this person's different. But different from what? The expectation is corruption, you know? And he's corrupt in a way that's truly disappointing. It's a shame. It's embarrassing how easy a politician is to buy. You could lease a new Subaru, or you could buy a politician depending on the position of the state. The things these people go down for, we're talking not money if we're talking politics, right? Like if I was a senator and I wanted to be corrupt, you'd have to get me good. You have to take care of me, because I might lose my job. I might go to jail. I need a nest egg to protect me. You know, something to look forward to while I'm in jail doing all that time for doing you a favor and being corrupt. Like, that's why I don't agree with it, and I'm glad he's going down for it. But Menendez makes sense. He took gold bars. That's cartoonish corruption. That is like full on 1950s cartoon corruption. That is New Yorker political cartoon corruption, to just take actual gold bars. Where do you get gold bars from? And then take the gold bars to do the favor for the person. This is what's funny about Eric Adams being indicted, is that New York City is, and this is coming from someone who lives there, and I do love it in New York, right? But New York is a dirty place, all right? Inside and out, okay? It's one of the more corrupt places. So to be the first mayor to ever be indicted with corruption charges in New York You gotta be one of the dumbest people who has ever lived. It's a city of corruption, and you got caught. That's crazy. Sometimes I can't believe it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure he couldn't believe it. He was like, y'all, this is what we do. How y'all gonna get mad now? I did the regular amount of corruption. I didn't even go overboard. I got some flights upgraded. Why would y'all? No, it is that dumb. This dude, Eric Adams' corruption is so petty. This dude about to go to jail because he let Turkey upgrade some flights for him. He basically is gonna go to jail for what is Delta Gold Medallion. Like, it's just... It's very petty. Some nice meals, some flights. That's great. That our mayor, New York's mayor, all it took to buy him was just treat him like a bad bitch for a night. Like, it's... Do you know how embarrassing that is? Do you know how much money is in New York? I need at least 6 skyscrapers to be as corrupt as Eric Adams. I'd be like, take care of me. No, I need land. What are you talking about, a flight? A flight where I might fall asleep and miss my corruption? No. Because sometimes you get upgraded by your airline, you get all excited, you like, oh, I'm sitting in, got the extra leg room and everything. I can kick for no reason and stuff. And then you wake up at the destination and you're like, dang, I didn't even enjoy the free glass of champagne and orange juice. That's his level of corruption. It's so dumb. He sucks. But Eric Adams started as a cop, right? And I actually watched this video of him. It was a very entertaining watch. Basically, when he was a cop, he did a video. Maybe he was still a cop. I don't know. Maybe it retired. But anyway, he used his police expertise to make the video. And it's basically a video where he shows parents how to search their children's rooms for drugs and guns, right? And the thing that's amazing about it is that clearly one of two things happened. Either Eric Adams told whoever was shooting the video to just go fill a room full of crack, or Eric Adams kept using the same 6 crack rocks in between takes. Because he was pulling crack out of places that didn't really make any sense. Like those... When you have crack, the intention is to smoke it or sell it. And where he was pulling, because then, first of all, the room didn't make sense, because the room is supposed to be a child's room, right? But the room has stuff for a kid that's about to head off to college or somebody in preschool. Like, there's just too much going on in the room. The room makes sense if you were never gonna leave that room for 26 years. Like, it doesn't... The room did not make sense at all. So then Eric Adams would do weird stuff, like he'd be like, looks like a regular tricycle, right? But if you pop this tire right quick, you pop this tire, pull it out, what do we find? Crack cocaine. It was incredible. Like, looks like a regular doll, huh? But if you stab it in the back and rip it open, what do we find? Crack cocaine. And honestly, like, look, I even get the spirit behind what he's doing, but if your child is on crack, There will be other signs. Besides a heavy tricycle wheel. I've never seen a kid on a bike with a flat tire and been like, we're losing the youth. It's insane. This dude is over here going, a simple jewelry box. But if we open it, what do we find? A loaded gun. A pillow? You gave your child a pillow? And thought that they weren't gonna do the worst with it? You reach in that pillowcase, what do you find? A Glock. My favorite was standing near a bookcase. And he didn't say these words exactly, but the feeling that I got when I was watching him was just, you think your child reads? You think your little baby boy, baby girl reading in here? No. They're a child, and we all know children are what? Crackheads. You open this book, and what do you find? What spills out? Crack cocaine. No. It was incredible. It was truly, the only thing he did do was pull crack out of the gun. Like, and I can't stress this enough. Eric Adams is like terrible. He really is. Like, he really is. He's the worst. It's so bad. He sucks. He sucks so much. You should be so glad he's not your mayor. Like, that's... Oh, man. I'll be honest with you. I didn't do the research. I don't know who your mayor is. I just know it's not Eric Adams. So you got 2 legs up on New York City. This dude, first of all, when he was running, he was corrupt. The dude was running, and he was already doing stuff where we were like, if it's not illegal, it's weird. This dude told the story of, because, he's a cop, and he reminds everybody all the time they used to be a cop, right? And it depends, because he does a thing that's real sneaky. He's really good at it, right? Where he was a black cop. So in some rooms, he's black. In some rooms, I used to be a cop. And never the 2 rooms shall meet. If like... It's crazy. Okay, so this dude, when he was running, would tell the story of a fallen officer, right? His friend that he loved dearly, who died in the line of duty, and he loved his friend so much that he keeps a picture of him in his wallet with him all the time, right? And it's a heartwarming story because no matter your feelings on cops, no matter your feelings on like the criminal justice system, I think everyone can understand what it's like to lose a friend, right? You can understand what it's like to lose, especially when you lose a friend when you're both in danger. Maybe you both were in the military together. Maybe you're both cops. Maybe you served in some way and then you lost your friend. And no one's going to know what that was like except for people who it also happened to, right? And he kept the picture in his wallet. Except the picture in his wallet that he showed people was printed out by his staff members, and they threw a little coffee on it to make it look old. And that's before he did anything illegal. This dude is the devil. Like, he really sucks. This dude, I don't even know how he won. He doesn't live in New York. You know how usually you have to live where you're the mayor of? I'm not gonna make any assumptions about your mayor, but I'm assuming they live here. I imagine your mayor doesn't actually live in Illinois. That would be weird, right? To come over and be like, hey, I'm here with y'all. We're in this together. I'ma go, though. Dude lived in Jersey. And then it got outed that he lived in Jersey. And so at the last second, he had the New York Times try to help him cover it. And they did a profile of him at his house in Brooklyn that he was clearly walking into for the first time. This dude walked in. You could tell he had never been in there before. He over here like, and as you can see, my wall. If you don't have one, you gotta get one. All right, these walls are fire. This dude walked in, and clearly, whatever staff was trying to help him look like he lived there, I feel like they tried to like Ocean's 11 it and like did it a little too late because they were clearly moving stuff into the place to make it look furnished, but then he probably called them and told like, hey, I'm on the way now, y'all gotta get out, because the apartment did not make sense. You walk in, and in the living room is the bed. That's an intern who had to drop the bed, like, as they, like, what? And then, you know, they go, he opens the fridge, because he really tried to do this MTV Cribs for the New York Times, right? And so then he opens the fridge, and he's like, blat out my snacks, right? And there is way too much meat for Adams to be a vegan. There's so much meat. It looked like it was stocked by Hillshire Farms. There's way too much meat in there. Not even mistakable meat. Not even like, oh, I thought the Impossible Burger. Like, it was full-on meat. And when they ask him about it, he's like, oh, my son be sneaking in, you know what I mean? You know, because you know how when you have kids, you know, as parents, you know how when you have kids, they sneak into your home and leave food, you know what I mean? In the fridge uneaten. You know how children are. All they do is leave food in the fridge and smoke crack. That's what children do. This dude is the worst. This man brought back stop and frisk. If you don't know what stop and frisk is, it was practice in New York where basically the police could stop you at any time and frisk you, check you for drugs and weapons and stuff like that. It was very popular under like Giuliani and stuff, but it was like found to be pretty disproportionate because they would just stay in one place and check everybody there. You know? So it was just black and brown people. It was mostly black and Hispanic people that were like stopped and frisked. And it didn't even really work because the people with guns and drugs were like, I'll stay home. You know? They found when they did studies on it that, you know, more often than not, it was men, over 9% men. So it's like 99.3% men of the stop and frisk. And then also in the 90s were black and brown people. So it was like, I think like 5% white, right? Which is just go all over New York. You're allowed to stop and frisk. Just stop and frisk everywhere. Just do the Upper West Side. Do you know what I mean? Just be like, hey, what's in the briefcase though? That could be full of anything. But they didn't, so it was found to be like an unconstitutional practice. It was found unconstitutional in 2013, and the New York police like disbanded it fully in 2020, and then Eric Adams brought it back. Which is odd, because this is my thing about Eric Adams, and what I mean about that chameleon move that he does is that Eric Adams, I don't even know the exact particulars of the story. All I know is that he was arrested when he was a kid. Some people say he was a member of a gang himself, right? And that he, got beat up by the police. He tells this story of being a victim of police brutality at like 14, 15. Him and his friend got caught. They had done two things. I think they had stolen some checks or something, and they stole something else, and it was when they were trying to cash the stolen check they got caught, and basically they got beat up at the police station. And apparently the way that I believe Eric tells it is that these white cops were beating him and his friend up, and then a black cop came in and told him to stop. And he was like, and that was the moment I decided that I wanted to be a police officer, turn my life around, everything, because I just saw the way that black cop moved, right? He's like, I saw the power, the respect, I saw the fear that people had, and I was like, okay. It's a weird thing to pull from that lesson, but all right. We're all our own people. And so it's weird to me that he's so adamant about being punitive as someone who grew up the way that he grew up. It's very odd that he doesn't see himself in any of the youth that he wants to arrest or wants to punish. Like and that's even only part of why he sucks. Like, he sucks. This dude sucks so much. He's the worst. They opened the investigation into Eric Adams the way that the feds do, which is quietly. You know what I mean? The thing that's scary about the feds is that they always get you. Their conviction rate is in the 90s. So it's basically done. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, when they show up, it's only a matter of time, right? And the feds opened an investigation into them, and this is like a year ago, that they came through and they were like, hey, we're gonna need everybody's cell phone. Your whole team, right? Which is already not great. Probably every mean thing I've ever said is on my cell phone. Do you know what I mean? Like, I try to be a good person, but if you pull up on me and you snatch my cell phone, you're gonna be like, oh, you an asshole, okay. The cell phone feels safe. And the feds roll up and, take his laptop, his cell phone, everything. And this is how you know, this is how a guilty dude moves, right? So he goes ahead and gets swooped on when the feds come and get everybody's cell phone. And he's like, oh, actually, my cell phone, I don't have it on me, right? I don't have it. And they were like, okay, we'll bring it first thing tomorrow. And he brings it. Next day, brings it, right? And then he's like, actually, I had changed my password to keep my aides out of my phone, because you know how aides are, always trying to face ID you and see what your business is and everything, even though you email them personally and stuff. But like, try to keep my aides out of my phone. So went ahead and I'm giving it to you now, but just know that I had to change the password, keep my aides out of my phone, and I just forgot it. This dude moves like a man who cheats. Like, that's crazy. And the feds basically had so much on them that they were like, oh, we don't need your phone. Because we have every other phone that you text. Ooh. There's even instances of Adam's aides knowing things were illegal and then being like, y'all, this is illegal. They said it in the text, but y'all, this is illegal. I don't think he'll want to do it. And then you know that text bubble? He'd be like, hey, this is illegal. I don't know if he'll want to do it. And then the person from Turkey or wherever would be like, are you sure? And then the text bubble. That bubble be cooking, right? That bubble be bubbling up, right? And then it go away for a second. And then they come back and be like, never mind, he's down. The amount of times that his aide said to other people, this is illegal. And then several texts later be like, so when are we? It was incredible, man. It's really fascinating. And then there was like, I think it was like one of his campaign aides, one of the people that worked under him, was being interrogated, and as soon as she realized the interrogation wasn't friendly, she was like, can I go to the bathroom real quick? And so they were like, yeah, sure. And then she went to the bathroom and apparently started mass deleting as many text messages as she could. But then she was in there so long that the feds were like, she deleted text messages. Like, nobody got a boo-boo that bad. Like, I mean, who knows? Maybe she is shitting herself, but not. I can just imagine you realize your boss about to go to jail, you might go to jail too, and now you in the bathroom just, I'll be right out. Oh, it's bad. Oh no. Y'all still there? I can't stress this enough. This dude sucks. Like it's like, okay. Maybe one of the funniest things about the whole case is that we don't definitively know one way or the other, but there's a chance that this dude would, like, the last straw that broke everything, that had the roof come tumbling down, that kicked over his house of cards, might have been, maybe, Sabrina Carpenter. Inadvertently. I don't know if you remember, but Sabrina Carpenter did a music video for a song called Feather, right? And in that music video, she's in a church, right? And she got permission to be in that church. As controversial as everything was, and as much as the archdiocese freaked out after they saw the video and as upset as people were, she got permission, right? She did the right thing, and she asked, can I do my video here? She didn't just run in and be like, quick. She did everything by the book, right? And the person that allowed her was a Monsignor, right? This Monsignor gave permission to shoot in the church and everything. And then when the video comes out, obviously the archdiocese is all upset and stuff. They're like, nothing provocative or sexual should be in a church. That's what they said. Don't get weird with me. And so then they demoted the Monsignor. That's how mad they were, you know? They didn't fire him because I guess it's impossible to get fired at a church. You know, anybody else, any other job, they would have been like, you gotta go. But Catholic Church, they're like, no, we'll move you, don't worry. And basically, one of the things that came from that whole thing, especially how public it was the feds subpoenaed the archdiocese over the Monsignor because he had connections, like as in a relationship or maybe even a business relationship with Eric Adams' chief of staff, right? And so they were like looking into it, and then Sabrina Carpenter's moved on. She just sort of like, oh, I didn't realize it. Whoops. And I don't know. I think that people don't realize how much trouble Eric Adams is in because this isn't like a police thing. This isn't like a local police or something. Like local police could run cover for a mayor. And so Eric Adams gets indicted, right? Present day, he gets indicted and this dude holds a press conference. It's one of the worst press conferences I've ever watched in my entire life. This is incredible. People talk about Giuliani and everything when he did that 4 seasons press conference and stuff like that. Not gonna lie, this one put that one to shame, okay? This one was really, but first of all, they decided to do it outside. I don't really know why, but maybe he's not allowed in buildings. I have no idea. But they decided to do it outside and they had a tent up because it was raining. But Eric Adams and he does this a lot. He does this in a way, this is one of the reasons I can't stand Eric Adams. This is one of the things that makes him suck, right? Is that whenever he's in trouble, whenever he needs something, he's very, very black. You know, and so now that he's in trouble, he has gathered around him every black person that will stand next to him, I suppose. And so he had everybody. He had so many people that they couldn't all fit under the tent. So now there are some people getting rained on halfway, just trying to lean in and everything. Do the one-sided thing. And the press conference starts, and there's protesters at the press conference. And, you know, Adams did some weird stuff. Like when he got indicted, he did like a message to New Yorkers and everything. And in the message, he says, like, I knew as soon as I stood up for New York, I would become a target. And then we were like, when did you stand up and who is targeting you? Like, this is odd. I've heard this language before, but I've never seen it make less sense since the last time I heard it. Yeah. And finally, you know, he goes ahead, he's doing press conference and stuff, and there's protesters there. And the protesters are screaming at him. They're like, you're an embarrassment. Don't try to act black now. You brought back stop and frisk. You brought back every policy that came down hard on the black community, but now you want to be black because you're in trouble and you want us to back you up and everything. And they're yelling. And the whole time, Eric Adams is like, You ever been at a restaurant and there's a couple trying not to fight? And then finally one of them can't take it anymore and she stands up and she's like, you cheating bastard, or whatever. And then he's like, It was that. And so he just stands like, okay. And then he lets people speak for him, right? So his pastor speaks and his other pastor speaks. And I think another pastor speaks. You go to extra church when you're in trouble, right? So then pastor after pastor after pastor are speaking, right? And all the pastors are like, hey, listen, we don't even know. Everybody has to have their day in court. Like, no one is actually professing this dude's innocence. Everybody's like, yeah, you can't judge lest ye be judged. And once again, remember, I told you it's one of the worst press conferences I've ever seen, because not only can not everybody fit under the tent, and not only are the people not making a convincing argument for Adams to be innocent, which is what we would very much like our elected official to be, right? This one lady gets up there, and she's been the loudest against the other protest. She's like, shut up, let him speak, blah, 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 right? And so it's her turn to speak. And then she gets up there, and she's like, good morning, New York! Like, she's just trying to shout everybody down. She's like, I've known Eric Adams for 40 years! And she's just screaming, right? And he is completely... And then the mic starts going out. Completely... And another thing... And he's not corrupt with it. Thank you. And then the dude went up there, and I don't really know what his position was. I don't know. He might have just been a black dude Eric Adams pulled that day, because This guy gets up there and he goes, good morning, New York. Good morning, New York. I've known Eric Adams for years, and he is, for 64 years, he has loved and served New York, and we cannot throw away 64 years over 5 indictments. He is 64. And I was like, where's the logic going here? You want that dude to be innocent because he's 64? Like, is that? There's no way he served 64. He just is alive for 64 years. But this dude was slick with it. He was like, do not throw away 64 years over 5 indictments. Nobody gonna kill him. Like, what are you talking about? Throwing away 64, we're not dating him. He got indicted. Do not throw away 64 years over 5 indictments. He is 64, thank you. I feel like that's all I do. The Eric Adams was like, probably should have let that be a tweet. And then it's Eric Adams' turn, right? And then counter-protesters are yelling. They're like, you're an embarrassment. You're an embarrassment to black people. You are an absolute embarrassment to the city, okay? You trying to make it a black thing. It's not a black thing. It's a you thing. You're corrupt. You're corrupt by yourself. It's not a black thing. It's a you thing, right? This dude's screaming. And he's like, what? Why is anything you're saying different from Trump? You're talking about you stand in the way. Stand in the way of what? You corrupt by yourself, right? And then Eric Adams like, and then he starts taking questions, right? And some of the questions were, you said that as soon as you stood up for New Yorkers, you would become a target. Who do you think you're a target of? Like Homeland Security, or what? There are government bodies that are serving you this indictment. Who do you think is targeting you and why? And then he was like, that's a question for the federal government. And I was like, okay, not a great start. And then he goes, let me just get something clear right now. All right? And then the mic cuts out completely. It's like, I just want to say to y'all, that's all I gotta say. This is incredible, Incredible. I don't know. I would love to see Eric Adams go to Rikers. I mean, particularly because of the terrible job he's done with Rikers. Just so you know, Rikers is a horrific place. It's been compared to Guantanamo Bay. Mainly because most of the people in Rikers, around 85%, have not been convicted of a crime. They just cannot afford to get off Rikers. They can't afford to pay bail and stuff like that. But they sit there until the trial, and the trial is sometimes 8 months away, 9 months away. So they're potentially innocent people just sitting there, rotting in a jail in terrible conditions because they just didn't have money. Any one of us could not have money. Most of us don't have enough money for the things we would like. So that's how close we are to being them. And it's so bad that there's a federal monitor that's like over Rikers. And Eric Adams has worked with Rikers to subvert everything that would have them comply with the federal monitor, right? It's horrific. And all they've really done is like try to throw money and staffing at the problem, but then money and staffing have become the problem because now Rikers is such a cushy job that there are a lot of people who don't show up for work. So now they really are wasting money because they'll be understaffed on a day where everyone is scheduled and then everyone calls in sick. And then people die at Rikers. People die every year at Rikers. It's absolutely insane. And the staffing if I'm correct, maybe I'm wrong, right? But last time I looked it up, the staffing was like 2-1. No jail has 2-1. No jail anywhere has 2-1, you know? And so what a poetic thing it would be, you know, for the guy that a year ago gave the key to the city to Diddy. To also be like indicted and charged and sitting in Rikers. It'd be dope to see Eric Adams at Rikers. They just, he gets there and they're like, "What's up, buddy?" "Let's talk." Oh. And so many people have resigned too. So many people have resigned from Eric Adams' administration that I don't know who works at New York anymore. It's a lot of people. People nobody was talking to, by the way. Like people who just are like, I'm just in charge of the library, but I'm gonna go because the block is hot. I don't want these problems.
Mira.